Okay, we're on a new chapter, so we're going to get into probability. So 13.1, we're going to be talking about two different types of probability. So there's theoretical probability and experimental probability. So here, let's go into our first example. So probability basically is the chance that something's going to happen. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's call these marbles. I have two orange ones and four purple ones. Okay, so we're going to look at two different types of probabilities. So let's go over the two types. Okay, so here's your two types of that we talked about. Theoretical probability, here's the main difference, and experimental probability. The main difference is in theoretical probability, you're not looking at the data. So you don't care what data you have, whereas in experimental probability, you're only looking at the data. So let's take an example that, let's say I drew a marble four times, right? And three times I got what is this? Purple. And then oops, so usually you write it like this. Purple, purple, and then let's say the last time I drew an orange. Okay? So this is now what's called your data set. I drew a purple three times and then an orange once. Okay, so now when we're looking at the probabilities, if we're getting the theoretical probabilities, so this is your theoretical probability. So in theory, so we're going to ignore this data. So I'm just going to look here, right? So the probability of getting, let's say, an orange. So our orange here, we have two oranges. So in probability, you're always going to do the number that you're looking for over your total, right? So we have two orange marbles out of a total of six marbles. So your probability is 2 over 6, and then we always have to simplify our fraction. So your probability is 1/3. So in your homework, it's going to be looking for this answer. Sometimes they ask you to write this as a decimal. So this would be 1, you do 1 divided by 3, and you would get 33%, okay, or 0.33. So for our homework, we're going to leave it like this. Now let's take a look at the experimental probability. Okay, so let's take a look at, I'm going to do it down here. Let's take a look at the probability of drawing a purple. Okay, so probability of drawing a purple. So in this case, remember I said experimental, we're only looking at the data. So I actually don't care about this picture anymore. I only care about our experiment here, our sample set. So our experimental probability for getting a purple, we have three purples over a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 tries. So in this case, our experimental probability of drawing a purple would be 3 out of 4. Or if you did it as a percent, that'd be 75% or 0.75. And you also need to know just a little hint. If they ever talk about a number cube, it's actually talking about like when you're rolling dice. So you should know what dice look like, right? Everybody, I think, has played with these. So you should have numbers. It should have 6 sides, and each side has a number from 1 through 6. So number cube just means dice, right? All right. So good luck on your homework. That's it for here.